What's up guys, welcome back. In today's video we're going to take a good look at the brand new publication from the house of Bitmap Books in 50 indie games that changed the world. A big shout out to the wonderful people over at Bitmap Books for creating these awesome overviews, these vistas over the video gaming landscape, and for sending over this review sample we're going to check out. So without further ado, let's dive in. Indie games have taken over the world. They are everywhere you look. There's no platform you won't find them, and their impact is felt across the entirety of gaming and entertainment, with stuff like the insane success story of Cuphead, starting out as a video game dream of two brothers, making it to the top charts in digital video gaming storefronts, licensed to accessory manufacturers like PowerA, who put out these stunning Nintendo Switch Pro controllers, plushes like Cuphead and Mugman, which I have borrowed from my daughter, and of course the Netflix hit anime.
Muggsy, what we need is a little fun and adventure.
Con evil. Cuphead, I'm not so sure.
You know what I do when I'm not so sure? I double down!
Dead Cells went a slightly different route and ended up being licensed to Level 99 Games, which released a special solo pack extension to the popular tabletop fighting game Exceed, a fate which is shared by various characters from the Shovel Knight series, just to name a few. One of the staple elements you'll find in publications of Bitmap Books is a scope of what you can expect within the book, and especially a well-rounded definition of the genre it represents. Indie games, however, can be tricky to clearly define, as the introduction will tell you as well. To put it bluntly, it is a bit messy. For now, let's stick to 3 talking points. 1. The game is made by a non-corporate entity, i.e. a small team of developers or developer. 2. The game is funded by limited means, often through crowdfunding platforms. And 3. The creative constraints are those of the creator and those alone. I would have you know that back in 2016, 2017, I too ventured onto an exciting path, creating my very own 2.5D adventure platformer, crafting and creating every single element in the game, from props to buildings and landscaping, doing all of the programming myself, scripted an extensive dialogue system between the NPCs and your avatar, and even handpicked music to go along with it. And after several months of painstakingly chipping away at the block, I managed to put out an unreleased, fully playable demo of the game. Sadly, due to time constraints and other practical considerations, that was also where the story ended. But, like a phoenix arising from the ashes, it was also the time that I started this very YouTube channel. Who knows, there are still plenty of unfulfilled creative ambitions. Maybe one day I might pick up where I left all those years ago. Now let's go back to the book. 50 Indie Games That Changed the World is a wonderful amalgamation of some of the most iconic indie games out there, released over a plethora of platforms, ranging from mobile devices to home consoles, as well as PC releases. As the title will have you know, there are 50 games featured in the book, as well as an honorable mention section, bringing the book to a grand total of 66 games for you to peruse. Overall, I think it is a truly great selection of titles, showcasing some of the most impactful games within the indie community across various genres. What's more, it isn't a historic overview, something you might be used to considering Bitmap Books' previous works, allowing for some of the most recent entries to make an appearance, as well as referencing to the current state of gaming with nods to Hollow Knight's Silksong, which got yet another spotlight just yesterday during the Gamescom event. That said, however, I do feel there are a few noteworthy omissions from the book which I genuinely expected to be there for their cultural impact, the way they've shaken up the video gaming landscape and overall reception. I'm talking about Dave the Diver, Golf Story and Balatro. But in good Bitmap Books' fashion, I will not be surprised to see these games make their way into the book by the time a revision comes around the corner. Publications by Bitmap Books are great, in general, as a baseline so to speak, but this book manages to stand out from the crowd in a truly fascinating way. In 50 indie games that change the world, every single entry is treated equally, with the same real estate allocated, each game spread across 8 pages, text, screenshots, hand drawings, renderings and photos included, all of which wrapped up by a small outro highlighting what made the game so special. All 50 of them. Except for Downwell for some reason, which had to make do with 6 pages. I do wonder if you did notice that already. The games featured in the honorable mentions are each laid out across a single spread, allowing for an easy thumbing through. But that is certainly not all and not even the biggest highlight of the book. The real gem here is the fact that the write-up for each game is really nicely done and shows the intricate knowledge of the writer, video game journalist Aaron Porter, who manages to seamlessly weave through insights from the developers who passionately worked on these games by means of quotations taken from 50 interviews which form the beating heart of this book. These insights truly show the challenges the developers have faced over the years, the hardships they have gone through, the various twists and turns taken to create some of your most beloved video games to date. These can be brutally honest to the point of admitting that a certain aesthetic, which we all have come to appreciate and love, was the simple result of time or budget constraints, like the fact that the prisoner in Dead Cells has no head, or that the walls are blackened out because there was no texture developed for them. There are a great many lessons to be learned here, especially for aspiring video game developers, like a peek behind the curtain in regards to procedurally generated level design and how to best go about it. i.e., do I simply generate everything in Vue? Do I handcraft room layouts? How about enemy placement and decorative elements and much, much more? It is, in a way, almost a diary of sorts of 50 video game developers creating some of the most iconic indie games you've probably played and are still playing. I, for one, have played many of them over the years, especially since the launch of the original Nintendo Switch, and whilst reviewing this book, I frequently put the book aside, booted up the Xbox and headed over to GameSpace to explore some of the games I had not played yet before picking up this book again. And it is exactly this, to conclude this review, which sits at the very core of these wonderful books, allowing you, nay, urging you to play and replay some of your favorite video games after reading about them, and in other events will have you explore some of them which you might have missed out till now. I, for one, can wholeheartedly recommend picking up this book, and I would like to hear from you what your take is on it. I have put a link in the description down below for ease of movement, and with that, guys, I am signing off. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed today's review. If you have, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more reviews just like this one, and I will see you next time.